This is going to go over a progression to get me into more of an overhead shoulder flexion, promoting some extension through my mid-back and even down into my hip and low back. So I kind of think about starting with one piece at a time and gradually adding pieces to it. So if I have someone that has issues with going into extension, I may start them off with their feet propped up, either on like the armrest of their couch or a pillow or an exercise ball. And first I want to see how well they can hold something, pillowcase or something like a stick, create tension in their stomach, and slowly take the arms overhead. They're going as far overhead as they can without feeling like their lower back is popping up off of the floor or off of the table that I'm on, and coming back up. And this is something I'll start with out any weights, and then I'll progress to maybe small dumbbells or weights in the hands. So phase one would be to do it with my feet propped up, really making sure as I get into that overhead position, I'm keeping my back flat and not letting my ribs flare up towards the ceiling. And if that's going fine, then I'll take that thing away, and then next step would be to do it with my knees bent. See, same thing, can I maintain the control of my lower back? If that's fine, I may start to let myself straighten one leg. So now I have a little bit more tension on my hip flexor as I go through the same motion. And if that's all going well, I may stick with one leg and come down off the edge of a table or off the edge of a couch. So now I'm putting a little bit more stretch on my hip flexor and my quad. The more I bend my knee, the more stretch I'm going to have. And I'll keep my opposite knee bent, so I'm really focusing on keeping tension in my stomach as I'm going into this overhead motion. And then once I'm able to do this here and not have any back pain or any issue, I would progress to this leg following suit. So I could go from here to this leg straight. Same idea, the real key is to make sure I maintain the flatness of my lower back against the surface I'm lying on. And then progressing to both legs being off the edge of a table or off the edge of a bench. So now I'm really promoting a stretch to my hip flexors, and I really have to fight to make sure this stays down, because now that tension in both of my quads and hip flexors is really going to want to pull me up into the air, and I'm going to have to fight to keep it down there. So gradual progression from a position where my feet are up and my back is automatically flattened down into the table versus putting tension gradually more on quads and hip flexors while I have to fight a little harder to maintain that control, starting with no weights and then progressing to a light weight.